Live from Pennsylvania, it is time for America's favorite show, the Beerman Network Live on Ustream.tv. Good evening, everybody. How you be on this Sunday night? Just got done watching the movie, which tells a story that was based on a situation that happened in real life, the Wolves of Wall Street. And I gotta tell you, pretty interesting story. So we'll talk about that tonight. And we got a few other topics here we're gonna hit before the night's over. And we want to first tell you to make sure you like our page on Facebook. That is the Beerman Network on Facebook. And also make sure to spread the word to everybody you know and tell them to stop by beermannet.com. At beermannet.com, you will find links to our audio shows, our YouTube page, and so much more. Okay. Now, tonight, as always, the broadcast is not sponsored by Bud Light, but I drink it. So, with that being said, let's talk about Wolves of Wall Street. One of the funniest movies I have ever seen. Why was it a funny movie? I'll tell you why. It was a scene in that movie that I absolutely loved. That scene was when a gorgeous blonde walked into the party. The character that Jonah Hill was playing proceeded to pull out his yin-yang and start whacking it. Hilarious. I almost died laughing. It was so funny. I mean, it reminds me of the kind of person that I was in my younger years. Let's put it that way. When I used to go down to bars in Wildwood, New Jersey, used to have some wild times, okay? And I'll never forget the one night I'm at this bar, a little dive bar in Wildwood called the Fairview Cafe. I understand it's no longer there, but I no longer go to Wildwood. But the part of the story that is pretty intense and interesting, and it relates to the movie and the scenes of Wolves of Wall Street. So I'm talking to this girl, and she reminded me of this girl from my job at the time, where I was a security officer at the Boris Building in Center City, Philadelphia. She reminded me of the girl whose name was Jenny. And we all know the movie Forrest Gump featured a girl named Jenny. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Well, let's face it, turning on an internet show and going live is really like a box of chocolates too. You just never know how many people are going to show up. So I did have a message with my good pal Scott Matisol on text messaging. We messaged a little bit, and you never know if he'll drop by tonight on the broadcast or not. So I would love to hear from Scott, but we'll see if that happens later in the broadcast. So anyway, before we get all over the map here, let's get back to this story. So I'm at the Fairview Cafe in Wildwood, and the girl comes up to me and starts talking, and all of a sudden I just got totally excited. I was like, whoa. And I had to just literally end the conversation by heading off to you know what, this story is really intense. I have a hard time telling it in embarrassment. Maybe I need to pop open the beer, because this story is pretty damn good. Probably gonna take more than one swig of beer to get this story going. But anyway, it's a deep, personalized story. What can I tell you? What can I say? I mean, it's a really good story, though. So anyway, let's just put it this way. That night in Wildwood was one of the wildest nights I ever partaked in. Yeah, I know. Those were the days. I'm an old guy now, I'm getting ready to turn 38. That's right. 3 more months from tomorrow, I will turn 38. Man, phew, getting old. Getting real old over here. I mean, seriously. So, look, when you're live on the Beerman Network, you never know what's going to happen. I am the man who brought back the entertaining part on your internet television dial. That's right. I call it internet TV. Why not? Because we got a camera. I don't use those stupid teleprompters, though, like some TV stations and networks and whatnot use. I don't like teleprompters. I like to be on the fly, because that's what I do. I do it off the top of the head. Because I could sit here and tell you story after story like we're sitting at a bar. But anyway, as I pause for the cause, as they say, why don't you have another sip of that beer there, Beerman? Well, honestly, I wanted another sip. This is the 22 ouncer. Let's get that right, okay? This is 22 ounces. Let's make sure everybody knows that. 22 ounces. 8% Bud Light Platinum. Okay? I just bought a 12 pack of 12 ounce Bud Light Platinum today, okay? So me and Mrs. Beerman went to the local supermarket and you can purchase beer. So I bought a 12 pack to restock for future beer bashes. And actually, I didn't even put it on ice yet, but I do have some Razoritas on ice. I stocked up on the liquor today. I made that run to the supermarket and came home with 24 total, two 12 packs. A 12 pack of this beer in 12 ounce variety. And I also came home with a 12 pack of Razoritas, which Bud Light also makes. So Bud Light's been advertising the heck out of that on television. When I was watching the Phillies lose today, they lost their second game in a row, which is a huge Debbie Downer. But anyway, I don't think you guys really give a rat's about something like that, but we're actually 2 minutes before 9 o'clock, so well, you know what? This ain't television time. We can start the show anytime we want in all reality, so that's exactly what we're doing. So, yes, indeedy. We are live on a Sunday evening. I was watching Wolves of Wall Street, and it made me want to go live because, like I was telling you about that scene in the movie where I could not stop laughing. It was hilarious. It was absolutely 100% hilarious. So, yeah, I was watching The Wolves of Wall Street. Great movie, but it dragged on forever. I mean, it felt like roughly it was clocked at 3 hours almost. Like, really, dude? Like, you need 3 hours to put this movie on? Hey, you know what? The writers of that movie were geniuses, though. Wolf's has moved to my #1 favorite movie of all time. Because I can relate with that movie a lot, even though I don't use drugs, but I do love the alcohol. That's right. They call me Beer Man for two reasons. One, I used to sell the beers, and two, I like my alcohol. Everybody who knows me knows that, hey, my attitude towards broadcasting is this. Sit back, open up a couple beers, have a good time. Now, I know there's a lot of professional broadcasters out there who right now are saying to themselves, Beer Man, we want to see you follow a script. Well, you can't do a show like this on internet television like that. We're in 2014. This is internet television. I'm so sick of hearing about all these shows that people watch on HBO and Showtime. And I have Showtime and Cinemax. You probably say to yourself, yeah, I know why you got Cinemax, Beer Man. No, get your head out of the gutter, okay? I mean, seriously, yeah, there's learn on Skinemax, they call it. I mean, not officially call it, but people call it Skinemax. But hey, it's summertime, so let's see. Can we tell you some more dive bar stories from the Jersey Shore? I mean, really now, I would love to sit here and tell you dive bar story after dive bar story. I mean, I've been in quite a few of dive bars in my lifetime. Okay, yes, I've been in quite a few dive bars. Going up and down the Jersey Shore, there's dive bars in a lot of different towns. Now, the one town, Ocean City, you can't even find a bar because it's a dry town. But as you enter Ocean City, there's a couple bars and a place to get your 12 packs and your bottles of rum and whatnot. But yeah, there's stores and bars and all kinds of stuff outside of Ocean City, New Jersey. But then we could go over to Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey, where if you watch the YouTube where I showed you the pregame before Jenny McCarthy interviewed me on ABC. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen that video in full, you need to check it out. I mean, seriously. You need to check that out, okay? So, it is what it is. But, anyway, hopefully you're having a fun Sunday night. Now, normally I have a chat room here. Let me see. It looks like they don't want to give me a chat room on this app. Okay, I do have a chat room. Check that. Okay. I could even ask a poll question. You can ask an yes or no question to your audience. Well, actually, I do have a chat here. There we go. So, anyway, you know, it's funny because last Sunday night at this time, I was wrapping up the interview with Victoria and Corrado out in Hollywood. And now, a week later, I'm talking about Wolves of Wall Street. Now, in that interview with Corrado, I mentioned to him that I feel Jonah Hill would be the perfect guy to play me in a movie. Of course, I want to see the Beerman movie made. And of course, I want to make a nice percentage of the dollars for myself. I mean, it is my story after all. After watching Wolves of Wall Street tonight, they tell a story that is based on mostly true happenings. So why not make Beerman the movie with Jonah Hill as the star of the movie? And of course you're going to have like Cameron Diaz or Christine Applegate. One of those chicks as the side girl. I wouldn't mind having J-Lo in the movie too, you know. I mean, let's face it, Beerman has some visions, you know. I mean, really. Look, bottom line is, Beerman, of course, me, I love nothing but the finer things in life. So, yeah, I love hot chicks. I mean, let's face it, who doesn't, you know? Like, let's be honest for a minute. You know, just because I'm a married man doesn't mean that I don't have a liking for what the guy upstairs in the sky created. I mean, he created us all for a reason. I'm not trying to be a preacher or anything either, but I'm sure you folks out there understand what I'm saying. That there's all kinds of things in this world that were created. I mean, let's face it. You've got annoying bugs. You've got deers. You've got bears, which are on the loose constantly anymore. Every day you wake up and you go on your local news app and you see, oh, a bear is on the loose around the corner from where you live. That gets old after a while, you know? I mean, what about public safety? How can you feel safe if a bear is on the loose? How do you know that you're not going to come face to face with that bear and the bear's going to start telling you, hey, it's me, 1975. It's me, the legendary RJ. Toupee or not toupee is the question. See, now I'm just getting goofy. Hey, I'm just having some fun. Remember, if you're going to talk about anyone, talk about RJ because he loves the publicity. I wish I had the tapes from back at Channel 7. I'm telling you, some classical Lifetime moments there. We got to put that in Beerman the movie for sure. We got to have him in our movie, Beerman the movie. one of the funniest characters I've ever met in my life. I mean, really. And I've met a lot of funny characters. I met a guy who reminded me of Blue from Old School. His name was Nelson Blank. Worked with him at a Lowe's home improvement store. Yep, I was their doorman. He was the toll department sales guy. And the guy was a legend. I wanted to bring him on as a co-host of my radio show. I was trying to pitch a radio show to this hot blonde by the name of Erin Dwyer. And Nelson Blank was the other guy that I was going to use on the show. Because I pictured this team of Beerman, me of course, with beautiful Erin Dwyer, and Nelson Blank, Blue from Old School. Could you imagine the comedy gold that would have came out of that show? It would have been epic. It would have been epic. I mean, seriously, it would have been the best comedy gold that a person has ever seen. Damn, my hands are big. Look at that. Holy smokes. Man, I'm a monster. What can I tell you? I mean, huge hands. You know, my mom tells me the story about the doctor saying to her, one day this guy's going to be big. He's going to be big. He's going to be a monster. He's going to be huge. Well, you know what? I put the world on notice that Beerman Network is here to make a statement and an impact. And I seen all the people writing back the comments. And when the comments were saying, we want the Beerman to stay, I said, give them more Beerman. If they want me here, I'll give them more. I'll give you more and more and more and more. I'll keep giving until the day my breath cuts off. Hell, I might be on my hospital bed dying and broadcasting live from there. Who the hell knows? I mean, let's face it, though. I have a passion for this, you know? And I know that the people out there spend their important time of their schedule. And you know what? I'm glad you guys are here because I'm here to entertain. Like I told you, last week, Corrado and Victoria from Hollywood. We got Scott Matisol standing by in Las Vegas tonight. He might be here before the show's over. We are coast to coast. And you know, it's funny. I asked Scott, I said, what about your brother Mike, the famous poker player? And he said, well, Mike's a little busy these days. But, yeah, Scott's brother Mike is Mike the Mouth Matisol, who's a famous poker player. So if you remember the Jenny McCarthy clip from back in 2011, where I said a shout out to my buddy Scott, that's who I'm referring to. It is Scott Matisol, who has actually been interviewed by me. There's a YouTube video of it. So you go to that Beerman TV on YouTube.com. All you have to do is just go to YouTube.com, go up into the search engine, punch in Beerman TV, and you will see hours and hours and hours of video of shows that I've hosted. No matter if it was a vodka bottle in hand hosting a drinking show, or if it was a more serious show like interviewing Scott Matisol or interviewing one of the other great folks that I've interviewed. From Glenn Wilson, well, you can find Glenn Wilson over at Spreecast. So, we got the 22-ouncer tonight again for you guys who's joining us. There you go, Bud Light Platinum. My personal favorite drink. By the way, I want to give a shout out tonight to Nick's Roast Beef in Center City, Philadelphia, located on South 2nd Street. It's right off of Market on 2nd Street in downtown Philadelphia. They call it Old City. So in Old City, Philadelphia, I like to just call it downtown because I grew up calling everything out there downtown. But it's in Old City. It's Nick's Roast Beef. And you can go to beermannet.com and get the menu. And let me tell you, the food there is phenomenal. I highly recommend the roast beef sandwich. Oh my Lord, that roast beef was so delicious. It melts in your mouth. I mean, I had a roast beef sandwich last week. My personal cheese on roast beef is Swiss cheese. I love my Swiss cheese on my roast beef sandwiches. And I'm telling you, that sandwich was packed with fresh meat, phenomenal. So if you're in the Old City area of Philadelphia, swing by Nick's Roast Beef and be sure to tell them that the Beerman sent you. And coming soon we will be live at Nick's Roast Beef for a very, very special broadcast. So that's right, your chance to come out in Old City, Philadelphia and hang with the Beerman live as we eat roast beef sandwiches and we watch the Philadelphia Eagles play the New York Jets in the final preseason game of 2014. That's coming your way August 28th. So mark it down in your calendars. Make your plans to fly into Old City, Philadelphia for the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity as the Beerman goes live for delicious roast beef sandwiches and watching the Philadelphia Eagles New York Jets preseason game. Have a drink with me at the bar, and we'll have a great night. And I'll be broadcasting live too from there. It's going to be an awesome event. Looking forward to it. And like I said, trust me, you are going to love that roast beef sandwich. And if you're not a roast beef fan, he offers entrees that include chicken parmesan, an open-faced turkey sandwich. The food is phenomenal there. Nick's Roast Beef, located on 2nd Street in Old City, Philadelphia. See, a lot of things are happening here at the Beerman Network. And I'll tell you, I'm excited about it all. I really am. This is the opportunity that I've waited a lifetime for, to finally be able to come out and hang out with you, the peeps out here. We're going to have a good time. And I want to take a picture with you. I'll sign an autograph if you want. Heck, you know what? I might bring one of those old Beerman shirts down and sign it for you and give it to you. How about that for a nice little giveaway? We'll give away some stuff. And we're working on a few other things. I won't announce it yet, but there's some things coming in the near future that you want to get everybody fired up about, because the excitement continues to build. The Beerman Network is growing by leaps and bounds, and the numbers show it because of you, the audience out there, spending the time checking out the broadcast, hanging out here. So I'll tell you, I know my audience is mostly guys. So for all you guys out there, I'm telling you, want a good movie, if you haven't seen it yet, Wolves of Wall Street. It literally has enough to be a porn movie. I mean, seriously though, it has enough nudity scenes of hot chicks naked that you could turn that into a porn. I mean, this is a man talking to you men. You know, it's the boys to get together, have a beer, and talk about the reality of it. Wolves of Wall Street is a porn as far as I'm concerned. It's not non-stop wall-to-wall nudity, but there's a hell of a lot of it in there. The writers did a great job with that movie, by the way. So if you know the person that wrote that movie, I mean, really, it was an entertaining movie from bell to bell. Great, great movie. Me and my wife watched it. We got a red box rental for free, so we cashed it in on Wolves of Wall Street. And I'm telling you, I couldn't believe how long that movie was, though. But they did a great job. They even had a scene where Leo DiCaprio's I can't say his name. I screwed up already. There's the blooper wheel. There you go. Spin that blooper wheel. Bing! The blooper of the night has been brought to you by Bud Light Platinum. Hey, we're having a good time. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. Is let's have a good time. We're not here to be your traditional broadcaster, okay? We're here because we're here to make entertainment fun again. We like to laugh at our jokes. We like to laugh at our mistakes. We like to laugh at it all. The bottom line is, hey, you know what? It's been a fun ride. 2007, it all kicked off on the radio side of things with the Party Zone and lesbians and ball girls and Tom McCarthy. And then in 2011, it all finally hit the top when Jenny McCarthy interviewed the Beerman in Times Square as I wrapped my arm around Jenny and said, "This is my dream come true." Heck yeah, that was a great night. I mean, let's face it. That really was one of the top things on my bucket list. So, another great movie, though, The Bucket List with Jack Nicholson, The Joker. Jack Nicholson, a.k.a. the Joker, indeed. And, if I could make Beerman the movie, Jack Nicholson would have to play a huge role in that movie, because I could see Jack Nicholson as the guy who's you know what? Jack Nicholson would be the perfect guy to play the general manager of Channel 7. Because let's face it, Joker. Hey, I'm on a roll tonight, I hope you like my stand-up comedy here tonight. So, hey, I hope you're laughing at these jokes. Jack Nicholson plays the general manager of TV Heaven Channel 7. I mean, seriously, though, he was the Joker, wasn't he, right? So there you go. He could be a Joker again. Oh, brother, you gotta love the publicity. Oh man, that's good stuff. People told me I have the ability to crack a funny joke from time to time. So tonight, I'm trying to crack them a little bit. After watching a funny movie, you can learn something from it. You come out here and you start hitting some jokes, and you're nailing them. They're long, towering drive, the deep right field. Oh, what a catch by number 12, Glenn Wilson. Hey, you know what? Let me tell you though, interviewing Glenn Wilson was a lot of fun. I had a blast doing that. Had him on twice, asked a lot of questions. And you know what's funny? Next Saturday, the Phillies will be letting everybody on the field to have your picture taken with the players. So that's an opportunity that I'm thinking about going down there and broadcasting it live from the field. The Phillies players letting everybody down there. So just maybe I'll be able to grab a word with our good old buddy Tom McCarthy, because he's been known to be down there for the day where the players go on the field and let they're on the field for the fans to come down with them on the field. And hey, if I can grab Scott Fransky, who's a guy who, let me tell you a good Scott Fransky story, which I'm not sure if I told before. It's the night the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, and he's outside the ballpark with his wife, and traffic is completely shut down because of the celebration going on. And Scott says to me, I need to get to City Line Avenue. And I said, here's the keys in my car, take it, and I'll go hang out somewhere and I'll wait for you to come back. Well, Scott Fransky, who's the radio voice of the Phillies, he turns around and he says, oh, thanks, Mike, but that's all right. But you know what the point is? I offered Scott Fransky to take my Chrysler Sebring convertible and go where he needed to go that night, and he turned it down. But another good story from that night was Greg Luzinski, the Bull, lets me into the VIP party where they're serving open bar, and but unfortunately it was 1:45 in the morning, and last call was at 2 because the state of Pennsylvania have this rule that 2 o'clock's last call for public bars or any kind of serving in public, which honestly I think it kind of sucks. But I had a couple vodka and cranberries that night, and of course mingle with a couple of the Phillies ball girls. Of course, I wish I would have took some pictures that night. It would have been nice to share them with you guys, because you know me and good-looking chicks. I mean, hey, I like to show it off when I got a picture of a good-looking chick. Hey, Jenny McCarthy is a little old these days, if you know what I'm saying. Honestly, like, Jenny McCarthy isn't the end-all, be-all, if you know what I mean. I honestly would love to meet some of these other really cute celebrity girls, but you never know what the future holds. It's like, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's just funny though how in Wolves of Wall Street, all of a sudden this really super hot blonde, and she turns out, well, I'm going to ruin the movie for you. I don't want to ruin the movie for you. You know what? I better not give that away. I'm just going to tell you, you got to see that movie if you want full 3 hours almost of quality entertainment. Get yourself that movie on DVD, Wolves of Wall Street. I cannot tell you enough about how great that movie was. It made me think of other movies that were really good. And I'll tell you what, another movie that I absolutely loved, and this one was a classic, and they made a bunch of them. The Ocean series. You had Oceans 11, Oceans 12, Oceans I think they made an Ocean's 13. So George Clooney, Brad Pitt included the all-star cast, and that was another one of my favorite movies of all time. Was the Ocean series because it was funny. I mean, let's face it, good stuff. A Vegas movie, they're robbing a casino. Lots and lots of good movies out there, but this one was not one. But I'm telling you, someday they need to make the movie called Beerman. It can either, I don't know what the name of the movie would be, but they need to make Beerman, the movie Beerman. And I tell you what, I can vision my entire life from 1992 to the present, and I could see the best movie ever made. It has drama. It has shocking moments. It has everything. Now, last week we talked about it on the show with Corrado, and he was saying, well, how do you think it should end? And he's like, well, maybe, you become the owner of the team. Well, that's not really reality. I think the ending needs to be something that's as close as you can get to reality. So maybe like my wedding would be the ending of it. I give up selling beer and I get married and I get this job, or I don't know. I mean, it's, I have to sit down and write the script. And I actually wrote, I know how I want the movie to begin. I wanted to start with me actually in 1990. In grade school, they asked, where are you going to be 10 years from now? And I said, playing for the Phillies. Well, 10 years later in 2000, I actually was hired as the vendor at Vendor Tryout Day. And that's where the story starts, because I was on television that night on every local TV station that had a news or sportscast. Interviewed me that morning at Vendor Tryout Day. They had it at like 8 o'clock in the morning. But I was interviewed by every station in town. Now, as the years went on, every time it was hot outside, the news would show up and want interviews. So there was one night I was on both 11 o'clock news on CBS and NBC in Philadelphia. So I'm no shy guy when it comes to the camera. And of course, if you guys seen my most recent television interview, which was during the ice storm that knocked the power out, they were actually here in my apartment, and it aired on the ABC affiliate here in Philly at 5:30 on a Friday night. They aired the story. So I like being on the news for good stories, and I love the camera. So, I mean, honestly, I feel like when it comes to internet television, this is a fit for me. I don't see this as internet radio like other people do. And if you noticed on some of the YouTube videos, I'm actually showing you other things. Like I show you fireworks shows. I show you stuff from down in Florida, Disney World, a lot of stuff from Disney World. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there. I mean, if you go through that YouTube thing, that YouTube channel I have set up, Beerman TV, you're going to have hours and hours and hours of broadcast to go through. Now, I can tell you what, there's going to be boring times. Like, for instance, if you watch the video where it says, Mike loves Jenny, and it says, I forget the rest of the title, but it says Mike loves Jenny, and it says, and bonus at the end. Well, the bonus stuff is actually from the beach and the beach bar in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. So there you go. I mean, I give you something to watch. So that is what it is. So, spend the time, check it out, and hopefully I'm not putting you to sleep here with this conversation. So I guess a lot of people aren't checking in tonight. You figure Sunday night this thing would be popping with viewers, but I know that they got that World Cup thing going on, so I don't know. But let's see if we have any live feedback here. We'll go over to check it out. Yeah, there's no cameras on here or anything. Some people like to come to these sites with cameras, and there is no phone calls tonight. Normally I was doing call-in shows. I just decided for a little bit I want to stop the call-in shows. You know why? You get one or two calls, and it becomes the same old situation where you say to yourself, you know what, this isn't working. So I pulled the plug on it, and that's that. So, anyway, the bottom line is, I know it's not summer. When I put EST, that actually means Eastern time. I just abbreviate Eastern, if I would explain that to you. I'm not trying to put Eastern Standard Time. I'm actually just trying to put Eastern. EST is in Eastern. So that'll explain what some post that I put out there. I see the comment there. And that's that. So, anyway, it's coming up close to 10 o'clock, I guess. Yeah, it's already, we're moving along here on this night. We're already at 9:35, it looks like. So, of course, the clock, oh, you know what? It's actually just about 9:30 on the East Coast. Yeah, it's coming up on 9:30 on the East Coast. You know, the Phillies need to get their act together again. They lost 2 games in a row. And honestly, I think it's time. Yeah, we want to do it. See, like, just like the chatter there said, yeah, we want Beerman the movie. It's got to happen. Now, I want to work with Corrado and Victoria to try to make that a reality, but we interviewed them last week on the show, and I kept saying Corrado's name. I was calling him Cordero, which was a total goof on my part, but, you know, I knew that was a big show last Sunday night. I knew that was the show that would put me on the map because I'm talking to great producers in Hollywood, California. So my nerves was high, and I'll admit I dropped the ball. But there's so much, there's such a story to tell. There's so many angles that we could use. You could show me at the Jersey Shore bars. You could show me doing things. There we go. Okay, well, you know what? Since you mentioned that in the chat room, California Joe, let's tell a story about New Year's Eve 2007 when I broadcast the radio show from 6 to 8 on WNJC. So remember that, though, seriously. We were broadcasting that crazy radio show, and that show was a freaking nightmare. It was a mess. That show was a mess. Let's face it, no lie. That show was terrible. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It started off with the producer back at the station not able to patch in the phone calls that were coming in. Happy Lesbian New Year. Exactly. And you know, it's funny that all these years later, about maybe 6 weeks ago, I interviewed Kim Douglas again. And, you know, then she announced that she is getting married. That was the bombshell. We started the new show with Kim Douglas telling us that she's engaged to get married. I was like, wow, we broke another story. And guess what happened? The writer who replaced Dan Gross at the Philly Daily News actually picked up on the story for me and wrote it in the column saying that congratulations to Kim Douglas, who announced on the Beerman network that she is engaged to get married. So we broke a story in the Philadelphia Daily News also. Yes, of course. Kim Douglas got engaged to a woman, and it's going to be a happy lesbian life now for Kim. But you know what? She's a really nice person, and honestly, I'm a huge fan of her work. She's been on so many FM stations in the Philly market. She's been on, from what I know of, Q102, 94.1, 96.5 The Point. I believe she was on Max 95.7. So she was all over the place. I think she was on 104.5 with Clint Kalina. So Kim Douglas was on a ton of Philadelphia FM stations. It's not like she's just an everyday person. So, you know, hey, let's face it. The bottom line is Kim Douglas is what she is. She's a woman who obviously chose the lesbian lifestyle. And the bottom line is Wait, let me see something here. Okay. Uh-oh. I just got a message from the legend himself. How about that? I just received a text message from Las Vegas. Wait a minute here. What we got going on here? We got a hack? What's this? Okay. Okay. Uh-oh. I just got a text from Las Vegas saying that I'm rambling about some woman. Okay. So, this guy here is top talent. I really want to get him on the air here. Seriously, man. Pick up the phone and call in, man. You know the call-in number. Get on the air with me. Let's do this. Come on, man. If you're here, just pick up the phone and get on the air and tell everybody who you are. The world wants to know. So, yeah, but Kim Douglas has been around, though. I mean, let's face it. But she's never been on the national level. She's always been on the local Philadelphia market, which I couldn't even break the FM in Philadelphia. So, no. This show is being archived. Let me tell you something. Wait. See, this is the problem is, all right, Scott, let me explain something to you, dude. Dude, you have the number. The number, look, all right. Wait a minute. See, now we're going to do something really crazy here. What in the world is that? I can't even make that out. What the heck? Somebody has wrote something in the room. What the hell does that say? I don't know what that says. Alright, let's do this. Let me explain something to you. Last week, okay, we had 250 live hits. You want to know why we had 250 live hits last week? We broadcast on Spreecast.com, and we also broadcast on BeermanNet.com. So, therefore, because we did that, so, alright, let's do this. Let's talk business, because this show will be archived, and that's where, this show, wait a minute, number one, let me start over. This show was not promoted like last week was, okay? I promoted that show. Paul Walker. What? See, I'm letting the chat room be part of the show now, and it's getting out of control. Anyway, last week, we ran one hell of a promotion, and we scored 250 plus live hits on Spreecast. All right, here we go. Let's bring them on the air. All right, dude, you're on the air.
What are you doing?
Dude, we're broadcasting live. What do you mean, what am I doing?
How many people in here? We got like 3 people in here, dude. Broadcasting live to 3 people. Who are the 3 people that are in here?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Scott Matisol on the phone right now from Las Vegas.
Paul Walker wants to blow you. Paul Walker's fucking dead. Paul Walker.
No. This is a different Paul Walker. Yeah, they're talking about a local guy, not a Hollywood celebrity.
Paul Walker's a crispy marshmallow that he's gone. Gone. He had a need for speed. He was over too much of a need for speed in the Fast and Furious. And he got pumped. What's up next? What was this guy saying? On the who?
Somebody asked if we're still gambling at the Borgata.
You know, I'm gambling on every day. I wake up and I gamble when I'm going to take a bowel movement at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. I'm going to gamble on whether it's going to stuff the toilet up or not. That's what I gamble on. That's all I gamble on. I usually lose, too. People when I win, I lose.
Seriously, dude, what have you been up to? Tell the world. They want to know. Where you been?
Well, all 3 people want to know. Well, where I've been, I just got back from a consultation with the Dalai Lama in way up there in Nepal. And after I got done talking to him, I went up to the top of Mount Everest to bury some people that are out in the middle of the road there and are still dead. And then I came back and I'm here now.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've been on my shows, man.
the travels throughout the world, that take your time, and it's just things, time consuming. I mean, when I got back, I was here for 4 months in the United States, and I got involved in the underground midget bowling league, and I was arrested for that, but I had a good lawyer to get me off of that one.
So, what do you think? Beerman the movie, are we ready to do this or what?
Beerman the movie, yeah. If you follow you around with a toilet cam, that should be entertaining enough.
Come on, dude, seriously. We need to have Beerman the movie.
Beerman, what are you gonna? It's gonna be in the movie. Is it gonna be like Jay and Silent Bob or some shit like that?
No. We're gonna have Jonah Hill star in the movie, right? And then we're gonna have a couple sidekicks like Jack Nicholson, and it's gonna tell the story of exactly what happened back in '92, and it's gonna lead into the current situation.
Yeah, what happened in '92 is that when you lost your kicking balls in a smelting accident?
No. That's when I got my first TV gig, is the 1992.
Yeah. What about the baseball gig? You don't throw peanuts anymore?
No, I was a beer man. I didn't sell no damn peanuts. I sold booze, man.
Oh, booze. How come you're not a beer man? How come you're not the beer man anymore? I don't sound like that.
I retired in 2012.
You retired?
Yeah, I got married and I moved out of the Philly area, and I couldn't drive an hour to go down there anymore, so I changed it all up.
So what are you doing now, Jason? You working at a pet store selling Cocker Spaniels?
No, I'm working for Lockheed Martin.
Well, are you building planes?
No, I'm just a security guy, that's all.
Oh, well, you can build planes if you want. You can steal parts out of it since you have security clearance. Steal parts and go do some sort of plane out of it. Like that kid in the movie Weird Science built like a strange kind of rocket ship or something. Just do something like that.
No, dude, I don't want to do that. I want to make Beerman the movie.
Beerman the movie? And you were talking to Hollywood producers about this. I mean, Beerman's legendary. Everybody knows who Beerman is.
Yeah, I think about maybe 1,000 people in the world now know who I am. My goal is to make it a trillion people.
A trillion people. How many? There's not that many people even exist on the Earth. So what are you going to do? Get people from other planets and other galaxies and come and know about the Beerman?
Yeah, tell us about the aliens. I want to get an update on that.
I'll update on what?
You told us before that the aliens were coming. I want to hear about it.
Aliens are coming, dude? That's an important film. I can't talk about that. It's classified porn right now.
A new porn film? Are you kidding me? Do you want to give us your Beavis and Butthead impression?
No Beavis and Butthead. Listen, if you're ever going to short stock, don't short the stock midget, dude. There's no upside.
Really?
Yep. There's no upside, dude. Who's in the room here, dude? How many people are in here? What do we got? 3 people? Raise your hand if you're listening. Besides Mike.
There's people in here chatting.
Tell me, 3 people in. 3. I should be.
No, Beerman the movie will not be in black and white. Beerman the movie will be a current movie. It'll be made with the current technology.
You know what I think from Beerman movie? I think what we could do, we could bring back like kind of a little bit of Wizard of Oz flavors and bring back the Munchkins. I can think of Beerman over here. I can point people to the way of the almighty Beerman. If you go down inside, if you go left over to that street, you'll find the Beerman out there getting your shoes shined. Yeah, that'd be really cool, man. I'm like, you sound really kind of funky. You've been doing helium? You bet your ass I've been doing helium. I'm a munchkin. I'm high on that shit, motherfucker. That's what we need to do right there. Your mom, look at the Munchkins. We could have like the Munchkins. We could have Willy Wonka in it too. We could have Willy Wonka strung out on crack, dude. Like he's like a pedophile. He's like, go stick him. Suck in my room.
Oh my God, dude! So come on, tell me what's going on in Iraq, because Glenn Beck says the caliphate's about to hit.
The what?
The caliphate.
The caliphate? What's that?
Come on, dude! You're an expert on the Middle East. Tell us about it.
Expert? What did you say? Catality or totality? What word did you use?
The caliphate.
The caliphate? What is that? Some sort of fried mushroom there with rice?
Hey,
I don't know about that.
they want to know who you are. Can you tell them who you are? Because they don't know who you are.
Who am I? Well, I got my start as a vigilante fighting crime, and I was the original Batman. And then I was replaced by Batman and Robin. Well, I'm retired now. And pretty much now I work on the weekends as a janitor at Circus Day Circus or something like that. I can't never say the name out of it. So I'm not going to have a lot in common. I mean, I use security guard, I'm a janitor. It's all good. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, well, we all have to pay the bills. No, seriously, how's that Ford Raptor treating you?
Well, Raptor's good. It's got another leg back on. I got a $90,000 truck. It's a $90,000 Raptor. I'm shooting a real over Canada, 100. Stock market's treating me good, man. Can't complain. You know, people wonder why I'm a stock guy. I used to be in a poker, my brother's poker, but I'm a stock. They consider me some sort of stocker. I'm really not. It's just that everybody else is stupid. So, in order for me to be a guru, I have to be actually smarter than smart people. So, I actually am average, of an average intelligence, and most of the rest of the market's a bunch of fucking idiots. That's actually it.
Well, the stock market's doing nothing but climbing these days.
You know, it's because it's full of liquidity. Where else can you put your money? They're going to put their money in the sidelines. They don't get any interest. Because Keynesian economics and some of the economics the last 20 years, especially in the last 10, have caused people pretty much to put their money in. So it's going to eventually cause a blow-up down the road. I don't know when. It's going to eventually crash. Just can't tell you when, but it'll probably bump up a lot more. Where else can you get return? You know, there's a lot of liquidity in the system, and it's devaluation of currency, and they're trying to chase the dragon all the time. And they got to try to, wash that money and get more value out of it because it's losing value inherently. So they're not going to put it away. They're not going to put it on the side where it collects no interest, so it's in the market. That's the reason why it goes up, even on bad news. It's a reason it's constantly going to go up. That door hits a certain apex at a point where it can't go up anymore. There's too much money in. There's 2/3 money sitting on the sidelines, so it could go a lot higher before it goes down. Unless we have a terrorist attack or some crap like that. But this current president and administration, that's always possible. He's such a weak fox, so you never know what could happen with it.
Do you honestly have any faith in this current president? I don't have any.
I have any faith in any politician. Republican or Democrat, they're all scumbags. Go after themselves and take big money and fuck the American people. But the American people get what they deserve because American people are idiots. They keep voting for these people. I mean, idiots in the stock market right now are all betting on the stock. That's going to fail. I try to warn them I'm the bad guy. They vote for anybody that tells them you smooth and easy thing. Like 2 cars in your garage. It's someone else's fault. It's never your fault. It's someone else's fault. That's how Hitlers get in office. Whether it's Dana or Obama, Republican, Democrat, they're all the same. Just pander to the base and tell them what they want to hear. They don't say the truth.
Wow, you have a lot of fans in this chat room, man. They're not a fan of Scott Mattisall. I guess they don't understand who you are. This is the brother.
Hold on. You think I'm a douchebag? Why you tell me why? You can't deal with truth? What's the matter? You Obama fan? You brainwashed by a party or something? You look up to politicians? What do you wrong? Why don't you get on your hands and knees and go suck their dicks? Why don't you do that? Why don't you start a campaign and go vote for these guys? Who are you, a Republican, Democrat? What are you like? Douchebags, I tell you the truth. What's the matter? You're not paying your bills? Is it my fault, man? I mean, daddy fucked you up or something? What's that, man?
Well, Scott, it's funny because I used to be that way.
It's bad, but it is. So was I.
I used to have mommy and daddy pay my bills. I'm not lying to you. I'm telling the truth. Until 2000 and I guess it was 2012 when I moved out of my mom and dad's house and I got an apartment with my wife. Well, no, what I said is in 2012 I moved out of my parents' house and now me and my wife pay our bills and I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. Now, tomorrow I'm off, but starting again on Tuesday, I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning again.
That's good. Work hard. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, they don't pay security guards very much money.
No. And their security guards you choose to be. You can always do other things if you want. Is it anybody's fault?
Well, no, what I'm saying is that, look, the funny thing is that as a security guard, you make so much money. This is the highest I've ever made doing this kind of work because, like you aforementioned, that I do have a clearance, and therefore I get paid more money.
Yeah, that's good.
But they're closing the plant eventually, though. That's the problem. They told us flat out that the plant will eventually go out of business.
They always do. So you have to move on to something else. This is you've chosen. Everybody has free choice to do whatever they want in this country. So the so-called poor people's country is thinking about raising minimum wage. They did that in Seattle. They raised minimum wage and they fired half of them. Corporations run the shit, whether you like it or not. So it's going to replace people with robots. You don't want minimum wage entry level. You don't like minimum wage? They say you don't like it. Well, first of all, minimum wage is a living wage. Nobody says you're entitled to an iPhone or to good internet service. You're entitled to live, eat. You're entitled to eat food. Breathe, eat shit, live and breathe, man. You want a better life instead of buying the iPhone and buying all these other things that are being brainwashed because you have no discipline. Go out there and save your money, go to night school, and get a better job. Electrical engineering, there's a short supply for that in this country. You go do a job like that right now, people are listening. Get paid $80,000, $100,000 a year. You sacrifice 2 or 3 years, you make big money. You don't want to sacrifice now, then keep living in the shit today and living in the shit tomorrow. That's how I look at it. That's the bottom line.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're saying about the Beerman job. I'll tell them what, the Phillies aren't very good these days. Therefore, there is no Beerman job anymore. The Phillies aren't a good team. They're not on a World Series run. They don't need beer people like they used to need them.
They're so ground. They're so ground good grounds. They're so ground pretty good. That's not really real. We want to make a big radio success out of it. We got two. We work harder.
What happened, dude? They're asking if this is Big Daddy Graham. No, the guest on the line is Scott Mattisall. He is the brother of Mike the Mouth Mattisall, who's a famous poker player. Scott, will you tell these guys that it's really not rigged? That poker is not rigged. Is it rigged? We don't know.
I don't know what they know.
Did you?
I don't think we're that's my brother. I'm a stock guy. I'm a market analyst. I'm a market guy. That's what I do. I don't know about that. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't like the game. I don't play it. I think it's just a waste of time. So, man, you might like it. But I have a different opinion. You know, it's a waste of time. I don't know. Don't make your money. Market spends your money. That's what I'm good at. I stick to what I'm good at. And that's what I do.
What the hell? Somebody in the chat room said they would play old maids with this guy. Wait a minute, dude. You're coming across muffled here. We gotta figure out what's going on. Try this now. Alright, now you were coming across muffled. I don't know why you were coming across muffled, dude. Listen, dude, listen. Why don't you come back on another night when I can promote it and we'll get a lot more people in here? What's that? Wait a minute. Let's try putting them back on the air. There we go.
Well, I can't hear you.
All right, dude. No, what I was saying is that if we promote that you're coming on in advance, we could have a lot of people like we had last week on the show.
All right, do it next Saturday then if you want. Just make sure you promote it and let me know and keep in contact. You keep hitting me up on Facebook, but you never go to you have my damn phone number. Why don't you text me, you dumb shit? Text me.
Well, I know. I missed the opportunity. Last Sunday night after the Hollywood people, I should have had you come on because that's when we had 250 people come on.
You can't, you have to text me. You can't put it on Facebook because I don't even get that shit. I barely even on Facebook. You have my personal number, so text me, dude. And I'll say, all right, what's up? I'll answer you. Not unless, I happen to be, some sort of sexual escapade or masturbating myself. Like, came in here and be talking crap there. He gets down, I can tell.
All right, dude. Well, we're gonna close the show down for the night anyway, so let's do Saturday then. Wait a minute. I'll talk to you off the air here. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next show.